I'm Larry Ray, President and CEO of American Manganese Inc., listed on the TSX Venture, ticker symbol AMY, A-M-Y, with proprietary patents in the U.S., China, and South Africa. Our focus is on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. China recently legislated the responsibility for recycling onto their electric vehicle manufacturers and importers. For more information, please visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
Welcome to the Goddard Report. Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Sharon Noble, Director of the BC Coalition Against Smart Meters. Welcome back to the show, Sharon.
Thank you very much, Jim.
BC Hydro still being a bully when it comes to paying people compensation for their mistakes?
Oh, it's terrible. There was an article in, I think it was the Vancouver Sun, not long ago, about a condo in Vancouver, where there were a lot of, there was a transformer that blew out on the street, and because of an error in capping off the transformer when they fixed it, there was a major power surge, and the people living in this condo building, most of which appear to be from the article, senior citizens, older people, it damaged, appliances, electronics, you name it, thousands and thousands of dollars worth of appliances and electronics. And Hydro admitted it was a mistake they made, but they also said they don't have to do anything about it because in the tariff it says that Hydro is not liable for any problems, even if they cause them. I think that this is something that most of the people in British Columbia don't realize, that the tariff, which is the contract that we have with Hydro, we have to agree to the terms that Hydro sets out in this tariff if we want to have electricity. There's very little in that tariff that protects us from anything. And under the tariff, and I've said this before, some of your regular listeners will recognize it, but I think it's worth repeating. This is a section of the tariff that Hydro is referring to when they tell these people in Richmond that they will not pay for this damage. Quote, BC Hydro will endeavor to provide a regular and uninterrupted supply of electricity, but it does not guarantee a constant supply of electricity or the maintenance of unvaried frequency or voltage, and shall not be responsible or liable for any loss, injury, damage, or expense caused by or resulting from an interruption, termination, failure, or defect in the supply of electricity, whether caused by the negligence of BC Hydro, its servants or agents, or otherwise. Further, it says it is not responsible even if the loss is directly resulting from the willful misconduct of BC Hydro, its servants, or agents.
Holy cow, that's a get-out-of-jail-free card, isn't it?
Not only that, this means that Hydro can be irresponsible. It can hire people who are untrained, such as the Corex people, for installing smart meters. It can do just about anything it wants to, and they're not held to any liability. There is no oversight. They don't have to be responsible for any of their actions. I ask, what other corporation could get away with this? And when I asked them, the response that I got back, well, it's been in our contract. It's been in this tariff since 1980, and no one's complained about it. Well, I suspect that that's because no one's bothered to read the tariff. I have. And I think that this is absolutely outlandish. This isn't the only part of the tariff that bothers me, but this is something that I think the people need to be aware of. If your house burns down because of the smart meter, or if Hydro does something that ruins your home, that blows up your television, your computer, your refrigerator, your stove, like happened in this condo building, forget it. If you don't have insurance, you're out of luck. And if you do have insurance, I suspect the insurance company will fight Hydro for it, but they also will require you to pay the deductible and any co-insurance, and they may very well increase your premiums.
What if somebody was killed by one of those power surges?
And it could have happened. A fire could have started. Fires have started from this sort of thing before. Good question. What would they do? And this is one of the questions that I've posed to them. What would they do if someone got hurt or worse as a result of one of their actions? They haven't answered it. They'll probably get back and say, nothing. They are not held responsible. It's in the tariff, and the tariff is a legal document.
Have you talked to any government officials about that?
I've sent it to the BC Utilities Commission that is responsible for approving it. I've asked them how on earth they ever could have approved this. And of course, nobody who's on the tariff right now was on the panel in 1980, but this tariff gets reviewed periodically. In fact, it's under review right now as part of an application for realigning rates. And this is one of the things that's really bothered me. BC Hydro applied last year to realign some rates. It sounds simple. When I asked if there was anything that pertained to the smart meter program that was being asked for in this change, I was told no, so I basically didn't pay any attention. Then in December, I just happened to notice that there was part of the things that was coming through because I had asked to be an intervener. I asked to get information about the application. I noticed that there were some requests for the tariff to be changed. Now, logically, I think you would expect that the only part of the tariff that would be changed would be that pertaining to the changes that BC Hydro is asking for. That is, the rate changes. But they're going through and they're changing many other things. For instance, they've changed it to the point where they say that they can turn off the power at a home without any notification, and they will not be held liable for any problems that ensue. This is new.
What if you're on life support?
Exactly.
What if you're an elderly person during a heat wave?
Or what if you're living in the Midlands and it gets below freezing and you freeze to death? This is something where the people don't realize that BC Hydro is trying to put into law its irresponsible, unconscionable actions. And no one knows about it. People aren't looking at the tariff. I've raised these issues as part of this application proceeding before the BC Utilities Commission, and out of the many people who are looking at the application design, and there are many very qualified, very dedicated, very aware people who have spotted many other problems and raised other concerns. I'm the only one who's asking any questions about the tariff. I think this is unconscionable, and I think it is time that the BC public demand that there be an independent review of this very, very important document.
Now, has the opposition said anything about it, and how long is this document?
You could go online and Google the electric tariff. It's maybe 150 pages long, but the vast majority of it pertains to rates. I would say probably the first 40 or 50 pages. And it's easy reading. And another thing pertaining to the smart meter, under the definitions in the very front, they define a smart meter as a meter that can transmit and or receive data. Now, you and I both know a smart meter does both. It transmits and receives signals. Under their definitions for a smart meter with the transmitter turned off, they said it is a smart meter with the ability to transmit turned off. That means that they can still receive signals. And I've argued that the definitions have to be consistent and they have to be accurate. A smart meter receives and sends signals And a smart meter with the transmitter turned off does neither. It has the entire transmitter for both receiving and sending signals disabled. And Hydro is arguing they don't want to change those definitions. Why?
We'll have more with Sharon Noble right after the break.
Gem International is a new diamond explorer in the richest diamond producing country in Africa, located next to the 4th largest producing diamond mine in the world. International Spotlight is on an 1109 carat diamond recently discovered in Africa by a fellow Canadian junior with a proven operator and finance team. Gem International trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol GI. Visit us at gemdiamondmining.com.
In Goddard we trust.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Sharon Noble. Sharon, an issue that you wanted to bring up because it involves microwaves, which of course is the whole basis of your concerns about the smart meter, are those poor little striped insects that pollinate our plants and vegetables and so on.
Those poor little insects, those bees, upon which human life depends. You mean those animals, those insects? Yes. There was an article just recently from France stating that 80% of their bee population had been decimated, and they are blaming pesticides. They're asking the government to ban a certain type of pesticide. And for the last few years, well, probably decades at least, many scientists have been warning that we are in dire straits if our bees, our bats, and our birds, our pollinators, die off. And many say that once this happens, once the bees are gone, mankind has 4 years of life left because we can't live without our food being pollinated, with our grains and all of our fruits and vegetables being pollinated. But saying that it's only pesticides is missing a major part of the picture. Many scientists, such as Ulrich Warnke, who's done major studies and has written major reports, he says it's a combination of factors, and microwave radiation is a key one. Microwave radiation affects all life in that it weakens our immune system. Just as our immune systems and our cells are affected, so are bees. And if their immune system is weakened, it makes them more vulnerable to other things like viruses and pesticides, which are hitting them hard. These poor things are being hit every single solitary way. And this is in addition to the fact that the microwave radiation from cell towers, from smart meters, have been shown to disorient them. Many times the worker bees go out and can't find their way back to the hive, and the queen bee starves. This is what is happening around the world. And in France, they've raised it as a hue and cry, because if 80% of their bee population is dying and gone, it won't be long before we see the same things. We've suffered massive losses in North America over the last few years, and bees are being shipped from community to community to be able to do their pollination. I mean, that's nuts to have to do this. And I think that, I'm sure that beekeepers who are listening know and understand, what is implied here, what this means. But the rest of us have to be very, very concerned. We need to do all we can to make the environment for our pollinators as safe as it can be. We have to fight to reduce the number of cell phones, cell towers, smart meters that these things are being exposed to, as well as prevent not using pesticides and arguing against genetically modified foods. These things are not only bad for us, but they're bad for our pollinators as well.
Didn't the beekeepers launch a lawsuit against a particular kind of pesticide?
Monsanto's, I believe. I think they've also fought about Roundup. Roundup is a terrible one. It is used widely. I believe it's canola. I know it's in sweet corn because sweet corn's my very favorite food, and I haven't eaten any ever since I learned that it's filled with Roundup that Monsanto uses. But once the pollen from these genetically modified foods or taken by the bees and birds and other insects, their guts are ruined just like ours are. It's a very, very bad situation, and it's not getting any better because these corporations just have too much power.
You have a little article on your website about how to detoxify your home of EMFs. What are some of the tips?
Well, it's a YouTube, and I must admit I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. But there are many ways that we can make our homes cleaner. Simply wire your devices. Don't use Wi-Fi modems. Use an Ethernet cable. Make sure that your wireless capability on your modem is disabled. And that means sometimes it means going to your provider and insisting that they disable it. Other times you might be able to do it yourself. Turn off the Wi-Fi capability on your laptops. Make sure that it's shut off at the program level, not just the keyboard. You have to make sure that it's completely disabled. Don't use cordless phones. Those wonderful handy things where you can walk around your home and you can have 6 or 7 outlets around your home with phones on them. These are called DECT phones, D-E-C-T. They are cordless phones, and they emit extremely high levels of radiation even when they're not being used. They're very bad, as are the cordless baby monitors. The baby monitors use the same DECT technology, and poor babies that are being exposed to these as they lie in the bed are helpless, and the chance of them suffering significant harm is very likely. Scientists are warning and begging people to not use wireless baby monitors. Get all of the wireless. Don't use cell phones, laptops, Bluetooth. All of these things in our homes are very dangerous. As well, we need to detoxify the dirty electricity. Things like smart meters are putting additional harmonics on our home wiring system. This is static that is going along our home wiring system, and it increases the magnetic fields to which we're being exposed. And as you get closer to outlets or power cords or things like that, you're being exposed to very high levels. And the best way is to get some filters on your lines, but most important is to turn off your electricity when you sleep at night for your bedroom. If you can sleep at night, if you can get deep REM sleep where your body is recovering, you can do a lot during the day. You can suffer a lot during the day. But many people sleep with their cell phones on their beds or near their beds. They have a lot of electrical gadgets in their bedroom. This is very bad. Don't have anything wireless in your bedroom at night. And even better, go to your circuit box and turn off the electricity to your bedroom. You can have a clock that runs on batteries. You can have a light that's running on a battery. Initially, it sounds like it's inconvenient, but we've been doing this in our house for a couple of years now, more than that. And it's not that bad. And it sure does make a big difference in the quality of sleep that you have.
Sharon, thank you so much for chatting with us.
It's always my pleasure, Jim.
And is there a website or two that people can go to find out more about the issues we've talked about?
They most certainly can. They can go on www.stopsmartmetersbc.com, and all of my updates, where all of the reports that I've been talking about can be found, are under newsletters. And they can go to www.Citizens for Safe Technology and get a lot of information on the health and scientific reports.
Sharon, thanks again for chatting with us.
Thank you very much, Jim. It's been my pleasure.
My guest has been Sharon Noble, Director of the BC Coalition Against Smart Meters. You're listening to the Goddard Report on TalkDigitalNetwork.com. You can find us on Twitter at TalkDigitalNet and check out our popular YouTube channel, Talk Digital Network. Questions for the show can be emailed to info@HowStreet.com. I'm Jim Goddard. Thanks for listening.
Comments made on the Goddard Report and TalkDigitalNetwork.com are an expression of opinion only. The Goddard Report is available online and mobile at talkdigitalnetwork.com. The Goddard Report is a production of Howe Street Media Incorporated.